Yeah, so today we're going to start a very important topic in this course, which is called as scan conversion. And we've also talked about and we've also defined this term, the
Then we
scan
said that
conversion. So basically, we'll be talking about what are the algorithms here required to draw some primitives like lines, and we've talked about 3-4 different types of primary primitives which are required to design all types of complex pictures in a graphic system. And out of them, this line is one of the most, probably the most simplest primitives, which is basically used to draw several different types of pictures. So what do you mean by scan conversion? If I ask, I think I have already defined this term. So can somebody just tell me that what do you mean by the scan conversion? And what we'll be talking about in this particular chapter is nothing but how to draw the lines and some arcs, right? The arcs is basically a ellipse, and basically circle is
Hello.
nothing but a special case of an ellipse. That things we'll see. Yes, yes. Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Uh-huh.
Sir, one of my friend Deval is unable to join this class. Could you send him the invite link?
Why?
Sir, he is unable to join through this link. As someone might have removed him.
But I have not removed, right?
No, sir. But the host of the meeting has removed him.
How is it possible? क्या नाम है उनका?
Sir, Deval Grewal.
Deval Grewal is there in my list. My list, his name is there. Is he attending for the first time or he has
No,
attended
sir.
already?
Sir, already he has attended, but today he is unable to join the class.
But his name is there. His name is already there in the list. So you can send him the link, right? This is the link, right? लिंक में ज्वाइन करने के लिए बोलो.
सर वो ट्राई कर रहा है लेकिन उससे ज्वाइन नहीं हो रहा है.
देखो ये लिंक जो मैंने शेयर किया उसमें करने के लिए बोलो. So Shubham, he joined or?
No, sir. Now also is unable to join.
His name is who?
Yes, sir. So I have joined from personal ID, but I'm not unable to join from the college ID.
Okay. Okay, we'll see the problem later on. Okay. Okay. देखेंगे बाद में देखेंगे क्या हुआ है. अटेंड करो. Yeah, so I was asking one question, I think. Yeah, what do you mean by scan conversion? What do you mean by scan conversion? You've already defined the term earlier, right? Any answer, please, from your side? What do you mean by scan conversion, right? And we are going to talk about some scan conversion algorithms, right? For some simple primitives like lines, straight lines, few simple curves, arcs like ellipse and circle, which is nothing but a special case of ellipse, right? You can write to answer in the chat box quickly, or else I will explain. I have not. I remembered it. Okay. Just is nothing but what we want to draw. So when you draw a straight line by using a piece of graph paper, what we're doing in our school time, right? That is not at all similar to the way we will draw in our screen, because our screen is a raster which consists of array of pixels, and there you have to draw the straight line. Okay. But the way you have drawn in the graph paper, the straight line is pretty easy. You'll be given one starting point, you'll be given one ending point, and you will simply connect. And you have to just mention over there the x coordinates and some y coordinates. Then you can join the starting point and the end point, and you will not bother whether it follows some. Whether it passes through some intersection point or not. That we'll see later on, right? That is what is the analog way of representation of a straight line. But here what we're talking about is how will we draw a line in a graphic system. So graphic system is on the screen, and the screen is nothing but an array of the pixels, right? So then which pixels, and I'll show you the pixel plotting also right now, and which pixels will be illuminated, which addressable pixels, so that you will finally see a straight line on the screen, right? And we'll see several important things also, how to, and we'll start with the line drawing algorithms today. How will you draw the lines? And although it is probably the simplest one. So basically this scan conversion used to convert some continuous object, right? Graphics object, some continuous objects, the scan conversion. So finally we'll get some integer pixel points of the corresponding integer pixel points. We can call it as a continuous to discrete transformation, right? Continuous to discrete transformation. And the graphics objects here can be any arcs, the lines, the rectangles, polygons, whatever we know. And as I mentioned, that we'll be focusing on mostly scan conversion algorithms for drawing lines, circles, and ellipse. And we'll start with these lines. So before I discuss, some line drawing algorithms, how we draw the lines on the screen, that and why we are looking at some algorithms, right? And although it seems very easy to draw the lines, right? It is very easy. So why it is required? I mean, why some line drawing algorithms are required? Right? Yes, of course, in discrete domain and digital domain, as we are talking about always the discrete points and pixels, there it is required. And if you talk about the analog one, yes, you know the 2 points will be given to you. You can just simply draw a straight line by using a scale over the graph paper. That is not what the case here. The major difficulty is you have to draw the same thing over the screens, and the pixels information will be generally are stored in particular one buffer. And you have to take those points, and because we all know that display informations are always stored in this frame buffer, and you have to take those points from there and you have to put it in on the screen, right? So that we'll see. So before I discuss all these line drawing algorithms and what are the goals here and what are the characteristics of a good line drawing algorithms and what are the problems we generally face, then we'll talk about a few algorithms, right? So let me quickly show you how we plot the pixels, right? Pixel plotting that I have already shown you, I think, earlier. Pixel plotting. And pixel is nothing but the smallest addressable screen element that we all know. The screen is nothing but array of pixels here, but a two-dimensional array of pixels which are stored in the form of rows and column, right? So how it got stored? And each pixel is accessed by a non-negative coordinate values we have discussed, right? Every pixel is having two different things. One is the coordinate value and one is the intensity values, right? So let me show you quickly by drawing a small array, a two-dimensional array, you can say. Fine. So this is where the origin is, let's say 0, 1, 2. This is the x coordinate. This is the y coordinate. Fine. So the x values generally starts with zeros, zeros, and the origin is nothing but here at the left-hand side corner, and the x value increases from left to right. 3, 4, 5. Here it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. Right? And these are nothing but called as grid of pixels, right? And in some notations, you will find this is the conventional notation what we usually follow, that the origin will be in the left-hand side corner, okay, below. But you may find some other notations where this origin will be at this place, upper left-hand side corner, right? And accordingly, that y will be also be reversed. But this is the most conventional way of representing these pixels and all, right? And the center is here, and in the corner. Right, the origin basically, not the center. This is the origin, right? So this is a pixel, right? This is a particular pixel, and the coordinate values you can say for this particular position is nothing but, let's say this is pixel 1, let's say p of 1, 0, 0. What does it mean? So P of r is a pixel whose coordinate values are 0 and 0, which is having x coordinate value is 0 and y coordinate value is 0. And this coordinate value should always be a non-negative value. Non-negative value, please remember. Right? And every pixel will have some intensity values, color values, for which you are getting some color in the screen. Right? Let's say this one. So what is the corresponding coordinate values for this pixel position? And for this pixel position, the corresponding coordinate values 2, 3, right? This one is nothing but, let's say pixel 2, it is 2, 3. Let's say it is pixel 3, which is nothing but 3, 5. I hope so. So this is how actually the pixels are arranged on the screen. And these are all called as 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 pixel, which is having them some coordinate values and origin at 0, 0 at the left hand side corner below, and the intersection points, basically the intersection points here 0, 0, here it is 2, 3. These are called as the individual pixels, right? Yeah. So now we will look at the important part of our discussion, that line drawing algorithms, right? Line drawing algorithms. As we are talking about the line drawing algorithms in a digital domain, so that is why algorithms are required. And for analog domain, it is not at all required, because we know there are few, how to draw the line in analog domain. It is pretty easy. As we are talking about this discrete domain, where there are some addressable points, right? So here in this case, let's say you want to draw a straight line. Fine. So then which pixels on the screen will be illuminated, right? Will be illuminated, so that will finally generate the straight line. Fine. And that is why we are requiring some algorithms. Again, why algorithm? Because we are talking about how fast we can draw the algorithm, right? How efficiently we can draw the algorithm. So that is what our goal is all about. But even given the specification for a straight line, specification means maybe the start point and maybe the end point, right? Find the collection of addressable pixels. Here it is not the case. We all know that in analog domain, if I will draw a line, right? I'll draw a line. So who can say how many points will lie on that line? Just think about just analog. Not about this screen and all. On that line? Yes, absolutely correct. Pransu, Moyan, and Despriya Kapil, whoever has answered this question, absolutely correct. Thank you. But what we are talking about is digital, right? And whether that means we are talking about finite or infinite here on a screen. Absolutely correct. So we are right now talking about the finite number of points, which are nothing but called as pixels. Right? So it is different. It is different, right? The way we have done, we have drawn these lines, right? It is pretty different. And that's what I'm trying to make you understand, that how different it is. So given the specification for a straight line, so what we have to do is we have to find here, find the collection of, addressable pixels. Pixels with address, right? Which you may not exactly get always the straight line in this case. Okay, you have to find out the most closely most closely approximating the lines. The find the collection of addressable pixels which most closely approximates. We'll see what does it mean, with one example. So this is what is the problem is here. Find the collection of the addressable pixels. We have to find it out. The addressable pixels, which are most closely, okay, approximate a line. We'll see it. Why I'm saying this approximation and all, because not all the time in discrete domain you will get the pixels in one line, or the pixels will match the intersection point. I'll show you some cases where you will not get, never you will get even whatever the straight line you are seeing right now on the screen. It looks like a straight line, but if you zoom in, okay, if you zoom in it, and if you use some maybe lens, or maybe if you open the same thing using some softwares like Photoshop and all, so what you will see is that you will be able to see the pixels in square sizes, and there you have to there you can see that the pixels are not in arranged order. Yeah, it is closing. I mean, it is approximately in close order. That's why you are getting some lines over the screen. And because of the resolution, because of the high resolution, here I've shown you a very small image, right? So because of the high resolution, maybe those pixels, okay, what I can show you by drawing is using 10 or 15 pixels, or around 7-8 pixels. But maybe in a high resolution screen, maybe those maybe 100 pixels or 1000 pixels will be added up together to form a straight line. And because of that, you cannot even visualize the effect called a staircasing effect. We'll see these are the problems actually we generally face, and we'll try to mitigate these type of issues, although it will be there in most of the cases, but we'll try to find out the approximate pixels which is closing to the line. So that's what we'll see later on. So this is what is the problem is. We have to find out the addressable pixels which is to be eliminated to form the line. Okay, and now we will discuss that what is our goal here. What is the characteristics of a good line drawing algorithm? What is the characteristics of a good line drawing algorithm? That we'll see. Right, so this is sometimes called as the goals also. Fine. Line should appear straight. Possible. This is the first goal. Should have line should start and terminate accurately, or else there will be problem, right? At least the starting point and the termination point should be very accurate, very accurate. Line should have constant density or constant brightness. It is also so important. You should not choose those pixels, right? You should always choose some continuous pixels, although if it will not fall in one line also, that is fine. But if there will be a gap in between those pixels, that means you finally whatever the lines you will get on your screen, that will not have a constant brightness, right? That will have some effect. You will not able to see there is a continuous straight line over there, right? So like on the graph paper, what you are doing, so using a scale and using a pencil, you are drawing a line, right? And it is always having the constant brightness. But as again we are talking about the line drawings over the screen, which is not that easy like we do using a graph paper and a pencil, right? So you have to be very much careful while drawing the lines. Here it should have all the pixels should have constant brightness, or there will be a problem. So these are all the goals, and the last but not the least is always whenever we are designing some algorithms. Yes, those algorithms, I mean the time complexity, the computation side, time should be very, very less, and that is what is our last goal here. The lines should be drawn rapidly. That means it should have the faster computation. Of course, I mean to draw a line, if you wait for some second, this is not a good one. Okay, nowadays, because we are talking about the faster algorithms and all. So that is why the computer scientists and all have been working together for a long time to come up with some few solutions which will be having some faster computation time, right? So this is what is nothing but called as the goals. Okay, these are the 4 goals, or you can also call it as the characteristics of a good line drawing algorithm if you're designing some algorithms for line drawing, and these are the properties or the characteristics that need to be satisfied, right? So now we'll talk about few problems. Then we'll discuss about so now the question is here that how do we determine that which pixels to illuminate to satisfy all the above goals. Right, so this is what is the problem is. So how do we determine that which pixels to illuminate, right? You'll be having a grid of pixels, so then you'll be having some starting point, and there'll be some then how will you proceed further so that we will get to know that which pixels will be illuminated, so that and every goal and every characteristic should be satisfied altogether, right? We'll see later on. And one thing you have to remember here, the vertical, horizontal, and lines with slope plus or minus 1 are easy to draw. Very easy to draw, please remember. The lines which are vertical to axis, which are horizontal to axis, and the lines which are having slope plus or minus 1. So we can say if the slope will be plus 1 or minus 1, I mean where the line will passes through, or any idea regarding slope we'll also discuss. Slope is plus 1. Okay. The slope is plus 1 means the angle is 45 degree. Yes, diagonally the angle is 45 degree Fine. And if it is -1, so that means what you're saying is the angle is 45 degree, means the line will be there in first quadrant and third quadrant, or what? And 135 means, is it second and fourth? Okay. So that means if it is the case, then it is easier to draw the lines, and you will get always the correct pixel positions, Other than this, you will always face a problem which are called as other than. Always the problems, I mean, other than the above cases, you will always find some problems which are called as staircasing. Maybe sometimes you may find 1 or 2 pixels. You have to decide that which pixels you have to choose out of that, and you have to choose the closest one. And sometimes you are calling it as a Jaggis, J-A-Z-Z-I-E-S, Jaggis, and we're calling sometimes aliasing, right? And so these are the problems you may face other than these 3 cases: vertical line, horizontal line, and the line with slope plus or -1, which are very easy to draw. Also, you will see it later on. You can verify it later on. Fine. But the problem of staircasing and all, that means you will find the pixels here. Maybe let's say you have to reach from this point to this point. You may find the pixels like this. You may find some pixels like this over here. So you'll get a staircase type of situation. You will not get a even. So if it is a graph paper, then simply you can, this point, right? And you will simply draw the lines. Fine. If it's a graph paper, but we are talking about the pixels. So which is actually different. The way you are drawing in a graph paper, right? That is what is different from the way we will draw on a screen, right? We'll see it. And this is what is, if you look at right now, there is a staircase effect. You will find a staircase effect. So to reach over here, maybe this one, let's say, you will choose. Maybe it is not continuous at all, so you can choose any one out of this. Say this is the case, then how will you choose? So this is the case, and this is the final one. So then how will you choose that which pixels? So which pixels you will take to reach over here? This one will you consider, or will you take this one, or like that? You have to choose here. So this is what is the problem you will face. And also this type of problem you will always find. But now the job is how to reduce this type of problem. You cannot remove all these type of problems because it is the real thing. So we cannot do it. It is natural things you will find in case of the digital domain. But the problem is how to, the one way to mitigate these type of issues, to reduce the problem, right? As I mentioned, if you want to see the lines, whatever you are drawing over the screen, then you can use some lens to see it. And we are not able to see because there is a problem, because we are using high resolution systems. Maybe the resolutions will be having size maybe 2000 pixels in one direction, maybe 1000 or 1500 pixels in another direction. So the number of pixels to draw those lines are high compared to, because you all know the resolution, right? Resolution. The number of pixels per unit length will be high in that case. So that is why we are not able to see the effect, right? But it is there. Then the job is here to reduce this effect as much as possible, right? So then the quality of line drawn always depends upon here 2 things, right? The quality depends upon two things. One is the location of the pixel. Which pixel will you choose, and which pixel will illuminate, and of course their corresponding brightness, right? And the simplest way to draw a line by using a line equation, right? We all know there is an equation for straight line. We are slowly approaching towards one algorithm. Okay, we'll talk about two different types of algorithms. Initially, we'll talk about one algorithm, then we'll discuss the limitations behind that algorithms. I mean, then we'll talk about some more faster algorithm, right, compared to that, which is called as DDA. DDA is an algorithm. Then we'll see the question of line drawing algorithms, which are very interesting, as I mentioned earlier. So you'll also solve few problems related to it. Then only we'll get to know that how these algorithms works, right? So what's the equation of a straight line? What's the equation of a straight line? Yeah, y is equal to mx plus c, right? Absolutely correct. So if I'll provide you the value of x, the slope, and b, you can calculate the value of y, right? And then you can plot also the points. So y is equal to mx plus c. And c or b, whatever the constant may be, right? Any one you can constant. So y is equal to mx plus c. So what is m here and what is c here? What is m? Okay, m is the slope. What do you mean by c there? C is the y-intercept. Okay, fine. Okay. So that means m is nothing but called as the slope, and c is nothing but called as the y-intercept. Fine. Absolutely correct. Sorry. So given the, let's say, we are having 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2. Fine. And we formed a straight line over here. And how can I express m here? Given there's a points, right? So this is nothing but called as x1. This point is, I mean, here it is x2, here it is y1, here it is y2, right? So now we all know, right? We all know from our school mathematics that what is m here in this case? Change in something, right? Change in some directions divided by change in other directions. And what is that? Yeah, I could see some answers. So change in y direction, I mean vertical direction, is divided by change in horizontal direction. What is nothing but, here it is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, right? And you can calculate b. You can calculate b. Then once m is calculated, x1 is given, y1 is given, x2 is given, y2 is given, b can also be calculated like y1 minus m into x1. Sorry, b means here it is c. Right? So can I write in this way? Del y by del x, change in y by change in x. Can I write? Yes, I can write, absolutely. Right? So change in y by change in x. Right? So that means what? For any given x interval, let's say del x along a line, or for any, if this is given to you, so you can compute or you can evaluate the corresponding y interval, right? So that means the corresponding y interval will be m into del x. And similarly, if this is given, if del y is given, we can calculate del x. It is nothing but del y by m. We can also calculate in a similar way. Right? So, as I mentioned, there is an algorithm. Called as DDA. There's an algorithm called as DDA, which is based on this del x and del y concept, and that is why the name is actually digital differential algorithm. Right? I'm directly coming to that point. DDA, and this the algorithm. This is the equation which is required in this case also, right? Basically, the change in y and change in z, and this is what is required here. And this equation is required to draw the straight line that we all know. If x is given to you, and you can increment x by some value all the time, and if you have calculated the value of m and c, so then you can easily calculate the y values, the corresponding y values, right? So, but the one thing here I have to mention out here, that the x value will be always, of course, an integer value, because we are talking about this coordinate system, and y value, yes, the finally, and the c value, y-intercept, yes, will be an integer value, of course, because it will touch upon somewhere in the axis, right? Or maybe some other values, but the m value, the value of the m, who can say, will it be a fractional value or floating point value or an integer value always? The value of m. Okay, so if that will be the fractional value, so then finally what will you get? Finally, what will you get? I'm slowly moving towards that algorithm. Why we are actually not using the concept and whatever is already there in the equation, and why we are going to use this algorithm called a DD algorithm, right? Sorry. So y is equal to mx plus c. If you see here, so finally you will get a y value in floating point value, right? In floating point value. Why? Because of course m you will always will be a floating point value, right? So this one will be a floating point value, and finally you will get some floating point value over here. So that means you have to use some concept over there, and we all know what we are calculating. Given a x is given to us, okay, the starting point and end point is given to us, so we'll start with one value, x value, and then we'll get some y value over here, right? And then we'll increase the value of the x, and then we'll get the value of y. But this value of the y is nothing but a floating point value, and that we all know that with that y is nothing but a coordinate systems, and we have to not use this floating point value. So then any operations we have to use either this round operation or ceiling operation or floor operation, and you all know the difference between the ceiling and floor, right? I hope so, because you all have read in maybe in data structure or maybe in the algorithm. Have you read this? What is this called as ceiling and floor? Yes. So you have to use here, right? You have to use the ceiling concept or this concept to get integer value, because this is not I mean x and y should be always integer value. So that means we are compromising somewhere here. Okay, so x and y value. So you will keep on increasing the value of x, and you will keep on rounding the value of y over here, and finally you will get some set of integer coordinates, and you will combine all those set of integer coordinates to come up with the end point. I mean, you will have started with this point and you should end up with this point. So one problem is the floating point one, fine. And the second point is the multiplication is always required to get the y value. Multiplication of the floating point values. And we all know, as a computer science engineer, we know that the floating point arithmetic and the multiplications is costlier or not compared to addition and subtraction. Please tell me. Yes, it is costlier, right? It is costlier compared to simple arithmetic addition and subtraction that we have seen from our first course, computer science and programming, that handling floating point operations and handling these multiplications and divisions are costly compared to addition and subtraction. And this is where actually we are facing the problem, and we want to avoid these problems with the help of, I mean, there are a few algorithms designed by some persons to reduce or to basically address these issues, right? So we'll talk about directly the algorithm tomorrow. Actually, I'm having another assignment. Take any class. Divya, please note down. So tomorrow I will not take the class. I will take the class on Saturday. That's fine, and I may take an extra class for this, as I will not take tomorrow. I mean, a class tomorrow. Divya, are you there? Is Divya attending the class? I think she's not attending, right? Is she attending the class? Your CR, Divya? Now, who is your CR actually? Divya, right? Okay. Only one CR और कोई ऐसा है क्या? Assistant CR कोई है क्या? Okay, Divya and Vaibhav. So Vaibhav is attending the class. Vaibhav Agarwal. Okay. Vaibhav, are you attending the class? Oh, both of them are not attending the class. But CR must be present in all the classes, right? Okay, Pransu, you can actually just inform to your parents that tomorrow sir will not take the class and he will adjust it later on. Right, Pransu? Okay. So thank you all. And again, we'll be meeting on Saturday, and we'll discuss and the important topic called as this GT algorithm. See, these are very fundamental and very interesting algorithms. What we're right now discussing, what we've discussed is nothing but the theoretical part. But what we will discuss from this class onwards is nothing but few mathematical things. You will love it and you will enjoy also. I know that, because we will try to solve few problems and we will also discuss some interesting things. And so definitely it is not that theoretical from now. And we'll discuss some mathematical concept as well as the interesting things behind it, right? And we'll also solve few problems of which you will enjoy. I hope so. Thank you all. Have a good day.